all bold adventurers and fighters, past, present, and future. If you want to be the undisputed champion and get fame and glory and riches beyond your wildest dreams, you must defeat the Red Dragon. And there it is, the Super Fighter Undisputed Universal Championship, the top honor that is on the line here in the Super Fighter Championship. In order to get it, you have to defeat the Red Dragon. But here today, we're going to decide the Boss Division Championship. And here we have Thanos, Geese Howard, Evil Ryu, Evil Homer, Shao, Kahn, Baihu, Ultron, and Doomsday all competing. And first up is Thanos. He is, of course, well known from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he is very strong and powerful, and he comes with the Infinity Gauntlet, so you must beware of the power that Thanos does possess. He is an absolute top contender here in the Boss Division, hence why he is rated #1 here in the tournament. Beware of Thanos. He's going up against Geese Howard, well known from the Fatal Fury franchise, giving Terry Bogard and Joe Higashi all kinds of grief, but here he is in the tournament.
My fist felt greetings, sir. I've been waiting for you. Shifuken! Shifuken!
Thanos gets the victory and is moving on in the tournament. And next up we have Evil Ryu, and he is basically Ryu from Street Fighter that has been super powered and supercharged and has all sorts of amazing powers and abilities. So beware of Evil Ryu. And he's going up against none other than Evil Homer, who has been possessed by the devil himself, and the speed and ferocity of which Evil Homer competes is maybe unparalleled. He is absolutely one of the fastest competitors here in the Super Fighter Championship, so you must be aware of Evil Homer. He's definitely a top contender.
Welcome back to the stage of the
Homer gets the victory. And next up, we have the Lord of Outworld and the main antagonist of the Mortal Kombat franchise. He is none other than Shao Kahn himself. And he is definitely one of the most vicious and powerful villains here in the tournament. And he must be aware of the fatalities of Shao Kahn. And he's going up against Baihu, who is the main antagonist in the Breaker's Revenge game, and he is a very powerful, possessed wizard himself, so you must be aware of Baihu. He's definitely a top contender in this as well, and very dangerous.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Shao Kahn gets the victory and is moving on in the tournament. And next up, we have Superman's nemesis, Doomsday. And Doomsday is also one of the fastest competitors here in Super Fighter Championship, and he has amazing strength as well and ferocity. So Doomsday, he gets you in the corner and just keeps going. Definitely have to be aware of the speed and power of Doomsday. Be aware, all fighters. And he's facing off against none other than Ultron, another one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's top villains. And what makes Ultron super dangerous is he can command his army of robots to help do his bidding and land these super combos. So he's really got a massive army to help build out his combos he can produce during his super. Look at that 87 hit combo. So you definitely want to be aware of Ultron here in the tournament. This should be a good one, so let's go.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Doomsday pulls off the upset and is moving on in the tournament. So let's get a look at the updated brackets here. You have Thanos versus Evil Homer and Shao Kahn versus Doomsday in the second round. So let's get it started.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Thanos with the victory yet again, and he's moving on to the championship.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Shao Kahn defeats Doomsday, and he is moving on to the championship round. And here we have Thanos versus Shao Kahn. The top 2 seeds in the tournament are facing off for the Boss Division Championship. Let's get it on.
Welcome back to the story of
Thanos wins the Super Fight Championship Boss Division title. And let's take a look at the final brackets there. And you can see Thanos did indeed come out on top, claiming the Boss Division Championship. And there's his belt. He is the first winner of this division and calls himself champion. So there he is, Thanos, the new Boss Division Super Fighter Championship champion. But now it is time for him to step up and go after the undisputed Universal Championship as he goes up against the Red Dragon King.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
victory for Thanos, and he has done it. He has pulled off the Undisputed Universal Championship win, and we have a new Super Fighter Undisputed Universal Championship champion in Thanos. What an amazing tournament, and what an amazing win for our new Undisputed Champion.